video here is over an eight-step Tai Chi form. I like to utilize this form, and this is we'll say kind of like an in-between, okay? And I'm going to show you how to progress from one to the other. So this routine, I like to use it as a routine for chair Tai Chi. Also as a decent introduction to, we'll say, to forms, or to forms in general of Tai Chi, and kind of a very, very basic approach to Chang Shi Taiji. We have a 12 routine that really fits that much better, but this form here, I don't have a combination of postures, meaning like in his example, like in the 12-step, say I was here and I turned to do white crane spread wings, and then there's a brush knee and like Pipa, and I turn to the other side and I do the same thing, right? Come here, come here. So there's 2 or 3 movements combined together and or singles, but most of it is combined pieces. So it's helping you to get into that flow of being able to do a larger routine with a lot of postures linked together. This 8, it's great for somebody that has they've had some mobility issues, or they haven't really done any activity in a while. It's also great for somebody that needs to, get their coordination back, and we'll say the dexterity in their feet to be able to do multiple moves. I also use it as a way to, just as a fundamental loosening and limbering exercise. If you can learn this one basic form, you can use it as a progression form. So even say you want to do some of this stuff from a chair, right? Because maybe your mobility, you can still walk around, but it's just, you're not really that strong in the legs right now. Then you can start doing it in the chair, and then move to standing, and then just keep advancing into like the 12 or the 48 or into the 108. So I'm going to do this 3 ways today, and I'm going to explain it while I'm doing it, so I can not make this video too terribly long, and for those that are wanting to practice it, they can get something out of it. So I'm going to do it facing the camera, and I'm going to do it this way. Okay. So and you can do this with an assistant, right? Like say you want to do the first 2. So think of it as 3 versions of the same form. Okay. So the first, we're just going to use our arms. And then secondly, instead of having to do lots of stepping and turning right off the bat, we're just going to step out at a 45. Or we're going to bring the feet together like that, right? So we're going to kind of cut some of that turning out. Not that the turning is bad, but a lot of people, maybe their stability is not there, maybe the balance isn't there, and a lot of people, they practice it the second way a couple of weeks, and they can go right into doing the form and turning all the way out from side to side. And that's the whole point. That's the value of using it as a progressive approach. So again, the Tai Chi, we have 2 Tai Chi programs. One is purely for functional fitness. Within that, tell you what the move does, and it's a push, it's a punch, it's a kick, right? But we're not really practicing application. We're purely focused on strength and mobility, coordination, all of these beneficial things to our daily life. So here we go. So this 8th step, I'm going to start here, or I can start like this. And we're just going to do the arms first. And I recommend that even if you pass and I don't want to say you learn this form and then you move to the 12 or the 48 and it's too much for you to remember. That's fine. But keep this part where we're doing just the arms. It's really great to loosen up the upper body. So this would be our commencement, but it's just our arms, right? And then repulse the monkey. And look, I can do this with waist twisting too. I'm not going to focus on that too much in this video, but look, see, I can twist the waist. Don't worry, I'm going to go back through. I don't want my joints stiff though, okay? Now again, if your legs are weak or you haven't been doing a lot of activity, have your chair, just in case, right? You can put this right in front of you. So if you need to hold on to something, you can do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have to start somewhere, and then we move ourselves to another point where we're more maybe happy with our physical ability, right? We all do that. So, try one more time in the names, right? So I'm here, and this would be my commencement, right? My ankles are open, my knees are open, my hips are open, everything's relaxed, right? And then repulse the monkey, and look, I can twist my waist or not. Brush knee. And look, I'm doing it at a diagonal. I'm not turning all the way. Don't have to. Part 12 horse's mane or diagonal flying. Grasp the sparrow's tail. And some of the moves, even if you're golden rooster, even if you don't need to have these progressing points, cross hands for my kick. Cross hands for my kick. Grasp the sparrow's tail. But this learning to coordinate those hands together. A lot of people have a hard time because it's all circular. They don't know where things begin and end. And sometimes this is helpful. Cross hands back to the front. And close. I'm going to do it this way. Same thing. I start with my feet together. I step out. My commencement. Grasp the sparrow's tail and look back and twist away. So be sure you keep your knees open. You don't want to lock the legs and try to twist like this. It's not good for you, right? So commencement. Repulse the monkey. Brush knee. Part 12 versus mane. Wave the hands like clouds. Golden rooster stands on one leg. Cross the hands for the kick. Cross the hands for the kick. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Let's ward off. Pull back. Press. Roll back. Push. Ward off. Pull back. Press. Roll back. Push. Cross hands back to the front. And when you do this, you can always bring your feet back together if you want. And stand back up. What I was saying earlier, I'm going to do it from this side. When I need to turn out, I usually need to step and then pivot. Right? Step up, step out and pivot. And you can even do it more smoothly. You can come here. Different ways to make it look softer. But say that you're older, the buttocks and the hip flexors are not that strong right now, and the core muscles are not that strong, and maybe you're taking a small gait when you're walking, or you're bending more from the spine. And so if you think about it, say I'm like this, and I want to turn over here, and I'm already somewhat leaning, it's real easy for me to lose my stability. And when we get more aware of that, after maybe even a couple of weeks, I need to work on this more. I need to keep my posture upright. And it'll make it easier for you. You won't feel as, you're not going to feel as much like you're going to make me fall. And please understand, this video is not for the 35-year-old that's doing Tai Chi for application. This is more for either somebody that has had some injury and have gone through physical therapy and they're wanting to get their general exercise going, or maybe they're older and they've been inactive for a long period of time and they're wanting to get kind of get active again and start doing stuff. That's what this is all about. So what I was just talking about, walking with a gait or leaning forward. So if I did that, and I would normally do this form, and I'm going to step over here, if you're already bending from the, let me do it this way, if I'm already bending from the side of the spine and my legs aren't that strong, it may be kind of hard for me to step back or forward all the way. So say I step back, and then I'm already in this forward gait, and I turn, it's easy for my weight to get cast over my feet. So that's hence is the reason why we do this. We're going to do it at, we'll say 45s, right? So if you think like a clock, and if you watch my videos, it's always 5:22 in here for whatever reason. But if you think about the clock, right? 12 o'clock, 11, and 1 o'clock, and then you got 9 and 3. So we're going to try to step at 11 or at 10 so that we don't have that turn. So we want to get used to the movement first, we'll say. So I'll do it like this. So I'm here, and I want to step, but I only want to step in this line. I can still do the movement, and I'm still working on stepping and shifting my weight, and I'm loosening my hips back up, and I'm getting a little more strength into this, and I'm also getting the coordination of it. So that's what the second, we'll say, approach to this form is like. So I'm going to do it from the front, and I can do it with my feet started together or already apart. Step out, and then I have my commencement. And then look, instead of me stepping back like a repulsed monkey, I'm just going to turn the foot out. And then I'm going to bring the foot back. I'm going to turn the foot out and bring the foot back. So that was my repulsed monkey. The next move is brush knee to a step. So I step out. That's it. I'm not taking any more of a step than maybe somebody would be used to if they're already taking a smaller step. My brush knee, I take the weight off of that leg, I step back, I step out, and I slowly put the weight on that leg. There's my brush knee. I take the weight off, I bring the leg back, I step out again. There's my part of the wild horse's mane. You can also do it as diagonal flying if you wish. I step back. I step out, I transfer the weight, I step back. Now, to do our wave hands like clouds, we're going to bring this foot together, and we're going to take one more step out, right? And I don't need to step any wider than my shoulders, right? If I don't feel comfortable even taking that, I'll even take a little bit smaller step, okay? So we end it here, right? And then look, I'm going to step up. My hand's coming across me, and I'm going to shift the weight. I pull the leg up, I shift the weight. I pull the hand up, and I shift the weight. Right? I come back up with this side, I shift the weight. I pull the leg to the other one, I shift. I shift. Now, the next move, I'm going to bring the feet together. So I was here. I'm going to bring this hand up, and I'm going to bring both of my feet together, and then in golden rooster stands up one leg. Now, the reason I'm doing it like this, a lot of times my feet would be this way, and when I do the golden rooster, I would pull, see what I mean? I pull the leg to the middle, or even leave it here, as long as I can try to keep me level. If you're having stability issues, if your legs aren't strong, it's going to be hard to do it that way. But if my feet are already together, when I lift this leg, it's like I'm standing on that one leg. Don't lock the knee though, right? I'm going to keep it loose. See, that's kind of bent. So lift, and you don't have to lift it way up here, right? You see the videos and the person puts the knee all the way up. You don't need to do that. If you progress to that, that's great. But all we really want to kind of pick the knee up. I'm going to do the other side. And now, I can do this two ways. I can put it down, we're linked together, or when I go to put it down, I put it down again where my feet are shoulder width apart. When I do the next move, right, it's going to be a set of kicks. So I cross the hands, and I'm going to pull the foot to the other foot, and I can point with the toe or with the heel. You can kick up here if you have that flexibility, or anywhere in between. It doesn't matter. What matters is you're lifting a leg and pointing the toe or the heel. Here, point. I put it back down. I'm going to pull this leg up. Point. I put it back down. Now, I'm back where my feet are the same. I'm going to go back out to these diagonals again. So here's my grass the sparrow's tail. The first part is ward off. And look, I really want, even if you're doing this way, I want you to start engaging the hip, the buttocks, and the hip flexors, right? From here, so I sit. Sit a little bit on your butt. Extend the leg. Sit on the butt. Extend the leg. Now, I'm going to do the other side. So I pull the leg back. I step out. And look, I'm already sitting. I extend. So I'm working all of these muscles. I sit. I extend, I sit, I extend. Now, it's kind of reverse because of the way this is with my feet, but I'm going to pull this leg back as I open my hands. And now either I can bring them in and leave my feet like this, right? Here, or I bring this foot to the other one. And that's more like all of the other routines. So, I'm going to do this other version, and again, I know this is a long video. You can fast forward through segments that you don't need right now and things like that. So let's look at it like this. Now we're going to turn all the way to 9 and 3 o'clock and 12 o'clock right in front of us at the camera, right? So I'm here, and I can do my feet together and step out. My commencement. And then look, I'm going to come up on my toe, and I'm going to step back. 1. So this is repulse the monkey. 2. Now, my brush knee, so I'm going to take another step back, and the weight is here. When I turn, the weight's going to transfer to this leg. Now, I can step back up and step out. The weight is here, and I shift. So I have to have the balance and the stability to turn without falling forward. And my mobility in my feet has to be good enough that I can take all these small little steps. Right? I take the weight off of this leg. It's back here. I step up. I step back. And either you can do slant line or park the well horse's mane. Right? I'm here. I put the weight back here. I step up. I step back. Now, I can do this 2 ways. I can either, for my cloud hands, I can shift and pull the leg up. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, to do go finish your stance on one leg, I'm going to pull this leg to the other leg. Pull this leg to the other leg. For the kicks, I'm going to kick straight ahead, but look, I can come here and I'm going to pull this leg to this leg, kick, kick. Now, if you can do that and you want to challenge yourself more, turn and look this direction and turn back to kick. Look this direction, turn back to kick. And then here, grasp the sparrow's tail. I step up, I step out. I'm not doing this as a performance, okay? I'm just trying to shift. So from here, I shift the weight. I shift the weight. I pull the hand in and the feet. So my point is, I'm not doing this as a demonstration. I'm just showing you the mechanics and how to roll through the pieces. Now, I'm going to do the same thing facing this way. I'm not going to really discuss much. So we'll kind of get through it. But so we did the arms by themselves, and I think everybody should do something like that for the upper body. And we have a loosening set of exercises, and that's great, but in the beginning, if you're already working on this, you can use all of these as a form of loosening up the joints and the upper body, the shoulder girdle, and somewhat the torso. And then later, you can go into those loosening exercises. A whole series of them is really great for your body. So, again, I'm going to do just the angles, right? Like say, we say like 11 and 1 o'clock. You can even do 10 and 2 as you progress, right? So I'm just going to do 11 and 1. So I stepped out, my commencement, and then a repulse monkey, brush knee, part 12 versus knee. And I'm doing this fast, okay? I consumed a lot of time on this video. Step up and then wave hands like clouds, shift, step up and shift. And you don't have to do 3, I like to do 3. Shift, step up, shift, shift. Now bring the foot up, and then golden rooster stands on one leg. Remember, all you want to do, even if you can just get the foot a little off the ground, that's great. Right? Put the foot down, and then cross the hands to kick with the toe. Kick with the toe. My feet are back in that same line. I step with a 45. Grasp the sparrow tail, board off, pull back, press, roll back, push. I step back again, so my feet line up. Step on a 45, board off, pull back, press, roll back, push. And then as I pull this leg back, my hands open, and then I can bring them together. Remember, very fundamental, basic. A lot of people, when they first come to Tai Chi, depending on their age bracket, we all have different needs at these particular times. And being able to have a way to, like I watched a video, and I'm not trying to make something too long here. I watched a video recently, and this Tai Chi instructor is saying, like, you need to be able to do it effortlessly. And, but he didn't really give a real big explanation of how you get to where you can do it effortlessly. It's like you just should be able to do it effortlessly, because you're using your chi. And, I don't know if I believe all of that. I mean, it's if you went and you wanted to go walk, and you had a track that you walk on, or maybe you go to the mall to walk, and when you first start, it may be very labor intensive, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. Your heart rate goes back down, it becomes easier. And then you either increase the length, or you try to maintain. This is no different than this, right? But we have to have starting points, and not everybody is coming to Tai Chi and can already step and turn and pivot and do all kind of stuff like that. And they shouldn't have to, but we should make it to where people can have stepping stones to help them to keep progressing. So then we have the third part, right? And again, like I said, this is the hard part, is it's the stepping and the turning, right? So I'm here, I step out, my commencement, and then look, I come up on my toe. As I do, this hand is back here, right? So say I'm here, and I come up on the toe, and then I'm going to step back with this leg as this hand goes forward. Come up on the toe. Now, I'm going to step back again. The weight is here. As I place the leg in the direction I want, I transfer the weight. There's my brush knee. I put the weight back here. I step up with the leg with no weight. I step back with the leg with no weight.